The Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School heads itself over to Sebring International Raceway. Coverage will start in just 1 moment's time, here only on RaceSpotTV.
The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing.com has officially begun.
On the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even. Give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
It's Monday night, and that can mean only one thing. It's time once again for Monday Night Skippys here on RaceSpotTV as we welcome you to Sebring International Raceway for another round of the championship. Wilmington along with Rachel Whiteford. Qualifying is already underway. 3 minutes going in qualifying. Sebastian Job is currently setting the pace. He is currently on pit road, however. Matthew Daniels is on the lap, as is the driver we're right along board with now. It is Keith Sharp. He's working himself in that 5th place, deputing himself and the front. Well, that is almost 1 second right now, Rachel. In fact, it's just like 9/10 of a second between P5 to your race leader.
Yeah, good evening, Will. It's certainly interesting looking at those lap times right now, of course, because this is going to be a close fight. We've seen some incredible battles recently at Sebring, especially with this series, and I'm looking forward to a great one tonight.
Yeah, here we can see Rafael Drascaz in the number 87 car. He's working himself now towards the start-finish line. Let's have a look then. His last lap time, a 2:27.028. That was his fastest time in qualifying so far as he heads himself towards the start-finish line. Will he be able to improve on his time as he crosses the line? The answer is going to be yes, he will. He won't improve his position, however. He remains in P5. Big drop off from P4 to P5. It's not going to be too important in the race because there's a track where you can do a lot of drafting. Mark Mercer is on the racetrack right now in the huge gaggle of cars. Rob Kane working himself now down towards start finish line. We're right on board with a Securitas car out the final corner. 708 working himself towards the start finish line. It is going to be a lap time. Well, way off the pace there, 2:29.173, but he'll have himself another go. 1 minute 42 to go in qualifying, so it's going to be the last lap for him. Daniels and Joe are both on pit road, Rachel, but look at the gaggle of cars behind Mark Mercer as he sits in P4.
Yes, indeed, and Mark Mercer currently running around the track with a train behind him. Of course, these guys open qualifying, they all want to get the best lap possible, and that's going to be through drafting, Will. So, trying to get the right time, but they don't want to slow themselves up through this twisty first sector, of course. Sebring, it feels like a street course. It feels so different to so many other road courses you'll see in the calendar. And yeah, you can lose so much time in traffic here in this sector of the track. Get out into the big long straightaways though, you want cars near you, you want that draft.
The driver in the draft is going to be the one of David Williams, currently scored in the 8th position. Let's have a look to see how far he is back from your race leader. Sorry, your qualifying leader. It is about 1 second, 9 tenths per second. It is pretty close actually, P9, 10 and 11 as well. Williams has got himself a 10th of a second cushion to that driver of Dominic Brennan behind. Fahim Atanides ahead of him, going very wide. Atanides struggling in qualifying, and Williams there. Oh, he's going to make contact a second time there with Fahim Atanides as they were trying to push. Now, I don't think they'll have enough time. That was pretty much going to be qualifying done now for David Williams, Rachel.
Yes, I think it will, and Sebring is biting once again. It's definitely a track that's very unforgiving. Certain parts of the track will get you, certain parts, traffic, and other parts of the track will get you, and that was one of them. Monte Carlo, often the scene of some pretty big impacts we see in races gone by. Probably going to be no different tonight, but Sunset Bend also quite interesting, but let's not forget, Will, turn 1 and 2.
Let's keep an eye on then. It's going to be 2 seconds, 1 second. Does he get a lap in? It's going to be close there for David Williams. He does get a lap classified, 227.718. His last lap. He does not improve in his qualifying time, however, as he does himself another lap. Let's see. As we've got ourselves, Drasquez now up into P number 5 in that number 87 car, but actually into P4.
Anthony has lost it, Will. He will not continue.
As Mark Mercer is on a final lap in the number 33 car. So Mercer is going to get himself another go. Atanides wouldn't have made it back to the stripe in time because there was only going to be 1 second between himself and Williams on the racetrack as they came past start finish line. But have a look from the rear then on Mark Mercer down in towards turn number 7, the hairpin. Also got Rob Kane. He's just working himself past start finish line. He will remain. He'll go down to 4th place. Sharp moves himself up into that 3rd position last moment, Rachel.
Yes, he does. Great move up there for Keith Sharp. Definitely a big improvement in time there. We had such a big split between, of course, P7 and P6, but of course that's moved Keith Sharp well up into the running now. P3, second row, that would be a good starting position for him, and obviously starting right now alongside Rob Kane. Mercer's really been hurt by this one.
Yeah, Mercer is the only driver inside your top 7 who is still out on the racetrack. As you can see, he works himself now down towards Tower Corner, turn number 13 on this racetrack. And, well, Mercer's now got a lot to do in the last couple of moments of this qualifying session if he wants to move himself further up with the field, but it looks as though it might well be all over for him. Of course, it's a track where you can use the draft to your advantage in the race. We saw it yesterday in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. Let's look then at some of the last drivers who worked themselves past the start-finish line. In a moment, here is one of them as we have a look from the rear of him. It's Stuart Adcock out of Lamar. He works himself as Mercer is going to go off there. Number 33 car, as it looks as though his day will be done in qualifying, Rachel.
Yeah, he was just coming up towards Monte Carlo. The corner's proceeding that well, and he just runs wide. He has nothing he can do there. Clips off the circuit, and, well, that's really cost him a lot of time there.
He will work himself towards the start-finish line anyway. Williams is still on track as we have a look from our aerial coverage as they come down in towards Sunset Bend, and we'll zoom it in on Williams. You see one driver is off. He decided to have enough. The number 38 car is still circulating as they work themselves through the final corner. David Williams going to get traffic for the 2nd lap in a row. That's a Club 100 car, but Williams is going to try and go for the line there. Will he be able to improve on his time? The answer is going to be a 120... nothing. Yes, 127.2. Not going to improve on his time there at all. So, Williams will start in the 8th position on the racetrack. And with that, we get the opportunity to run through your starting grid for tonight's event. Sebastian drove then pole position, 226.196. Matthew Daniels in the 2nd place after a good result just one day ago in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. Keith Sharp in 3rd, and then Rob Kane on the outside of that 2nd row of the grid. We head on back. We have a look through in Rafael Drasquez in P5, Mark Mercer in 6th, Marco O'Connell, David Williams, P7 and 8, Dominic Brennan and Fahim Atanides rounding out your top 10. We continue to cycle it down, Rachel. It's a packed field here today, over 30 drivers heading themselves over to Sebring.
There are indeed, and of course, Sebring's exciting. We had some great racing here last season. I can't think that we'll have anything different. Well, 2-3 wide, crazy. 2-3 wide going through Sunset Bend, let's not forget. 5 wide on the start-finish straight. Sebring doesn't disappoint, neither do the guys here in the UK nightclub.
34 drivers have qualified. Roger Savinovic, Simon Povey, Unison Burke, Darren Vale Wright, and Dave Taylor have not set themselves a qualifying time here today. So, drivers now going to head themselves down to the starting grid for this event. There is a look at your field as they are just getting themselves a minute to get themselves nicely lined up on that starting grid before we get ourselves to go racing. Aerial coverage here today is brought to you by And1 Design, official graphics partner of RaceSpotTV. And don't forget, the IC.com World Championship Grand Prix Series lives here on RaceSpotTV. The next round of the championship taking place on the 25th of April. Start time for that will be 1:30 p.m. GMT from the famous circuit we know and love as Monza. So the drivers now just completing their gridding process, and again it will be Sebastian Joe starting this race on pole position. There is one more look at your top 10 from qualifying. It was Joe from Daniels, from Sharp, from Kane, Draskas, Mercer, and then O'Connell, Williams, Brennan, and Atenides. Track temperature right now, it's not too bad. It's 32 degrees, and you can see there is your weather for today. A little bit of an issue with that, but hey-ho, we'll carry on anyway. So, drivers now completing that gridding process, just 10 seconds to get themselves set on the starting grid before those lights will go on top of the IC.com gantry as we get ourselves ready to go racing here in the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Championship. 11 laps worth of racing, and as those engines start revving, this race will start right now. Really good start there by Sebastian Joe as they work themselves down in towards turn number 1 for the first time, cutting across the racetrack there, trying to get himself that optimal line down into that first corner. He will be joined single file for the first 3 cars, but then they are 2 wide down your pack. They are 3 wide down in the middle part of your pack as they work themselves through turn number 1 for the first time. A little bit of beating, a little bit of banging there. Everyone's through 3 wide down in the middle part there as they storm themselves out of 1 down into 2. Some drivers having to take to the grass, but everyone now is going to funnel it down into this ultra tight turn 3-4 complex. And Rachel, we've got a car turn around.
We've got several cars turning around, and we've got 4 or 5 cars involved in that, Will. That was a big impact back there. I think we had Tim Adcock potentially involved there. We had Graham Forrest is upside down. He's out of the race at this stage. Going to find out exactly what happened for you in a moment. Hopefully we can get a replay.
Yeah, we're showing it for you right now. We'll slow it all the way down for you. Right about here, you can see one driver. That's the number 20 machine. And Mike Cannon is the first one to get turned sideways. And from there, he just spears across the racetrack, taking multiple drivers with him. Number 14 machine tried to slow it down. 24 car also. But they were all collected in what was the big one in the early going. Tim Adcock classified as out of the races. Mike Cannon upside down and around then on the run down towards turn number 3 and 4. Out front, it is still Sebastian Job leading the way. He's going on board with Matthew Daniels just ahead of him as they now work themselves down towards turn number 12 and 13. This is Tower Corner, the 90-degree right-hander they're coming into now. Further back, we've got ourselves a little bit of action developing as you've got yourself Stuart Adcock for Atenides scrapping for position. This is for P number 10, P11. And even further back, you've got yourself Mark Turner and Paul O'Connor, who's got drivers off the racetrack. That indeed is going to be one of those 2 cars we were just talking about. That is Mark Turner. He's now all the way down, Rachel, into the 20th place.
Yes, he is. Well, that's the number 13 machine right there. Mark Turner is getting pushed wide, but taking a defensive option of, well, you know, I'd rather hit the gravel and the grass than hit somebody else. Sometimes a safer option on a racetrack, unfortunately, but there you go, especially in the early laps. Guys seeming to get through Monte Carlo fairly cleanly, although the poor cones have been once again murdered. That happens. We've got a car sliding heavily to the inside there. I'm going to try and find out who that's for you right now. That's the 15 car, I believe, right
25,
there.
Rob Marshall.
25, Rob Marshall.
Rob Marshall, they can see him all losing a ton of positions right now as they work themselves down in towards Sunset Bend for their first time.
Car turned around at Sunset.
And that is going to be Alan Piercy in the 808 car. We'll get ourselves a look first. Rob Marshall got himself a little bit of damage, actually, as he slid across the racetrack on the exit of the Le Mans corner, turn number 16. Then we had ourselves another incident that was down in towards Sunset Bend. That is the 808 car of Alan Piercy, just getting himself loose, then a little bit of contact, spinning that car around. He is still going, however. He's falling down to the rear end of your field. in that number 808 car. You can see well down in the 26th position on the racetrack. Let's move ourselves back up for the field and check in with David Williams. He's currently scored in P number 6. We saw having himself a bit of a battle with Atanides in qualifying, trying to catch up to the rear of Mark Mercer right now, Rachel. And this is a battle for P number 5, P6.
It is. Things have changed around quite a bit up at the front wheel. Of course, Keith Sharp managed to jump Matthew Daniels there. He's up into P2 right now as they head towards the old hairpin. And a bit of a concertina effect there with Mark Mercer nearly getting rear-ended by David Williams. That could have been very close, Will. But right now, there's top 5, 6 cars. They have pulled a small gap. There's 2 cars trailing behind them, of course. That's Draskas and Brennan. Behind them, O'Connell. He is leading the next pack of about 5, but they have dropped back by about a second and a half.
Yeah, Job still leads away. Daniels was able to get himself back up into that second place. Sharp is back down into P number 3. Then Kane and Mercer rounding out your top 5. Down in your pack, you got yourself Raymond Morris involved in a big battle right now. Some of these drivers, Martin Turner, for example, we saw him just a couple of moments ago having himself a bit of a moment involved in what was a bit of a slide. As he's now just working himself in that 19th position on the racetrack versus Raymond Morris. As you can see, those drivers, they work themselves now too wide. Almost free.
Big contact, Will. Norris got touched around and he's just lost it through Tower Corner, losing tons of positions.
And we're seeing that one on your screen. We're going on board of him in that Club 100, number 38 machine. On the run down now through Bishop Corner, Morris will get ourselves another look at that one then as they work themselves down in towards turn number 13. And here we are then, into that corner, just touching the rear of that number 58 car of Pete Newman in the Pete Newman machine, as he, well, is still scored in the 18th position. Is Pete Newman. No real damage to the rear of that car, but it is really hotting up down in your mid-pack. Out front, though, Matthew Daniels has gone to the race lead, Rachel. He's now ahead of Sebastian Joe, but they're side-by-side almost out the final corner.
He has indeed. Great drafting pass there by Daniels coming to that final corner. Job's still looking at the inside. He's going to sweep behind him, see if he can decide where he wants to go. Daniels not defending too hard right now. Job, he's just sitting there. I think he realises just how early this is, of course. We have got 10 laps. We're only on lap 3, so Job's patiently going to wait there and sit and probably do exactly the same thing to Daniels as they come out to Monte Carlo.
As we've got ourselves a little bit of two-wide racing going on behind. This is Clark Williams, Robert Plumney. They're working themselves side by side. Battle for P13, P number 14. As just ahead of them, you've got yourself Grunhill battling out with Atanides. We go on board then with that driver of David Grunhill. Alongside him is at number 8, Sahara car of Atanides. Too wide, too deep there through turns number 3 and 4. Although Atanides will get the better of that one. He'll have the inside line. Car turn around ahead of him. That is the number 94 machine on Mark O'Connell into the wall, Rach.
Yeah, unfortunate for him there. He had a bit of a bumpy moment earlier on in the race. So unfortunately there, Mark O'Connell, he's suffered from that one. And well, Pete Newman, who got bumped by that other car we had earlier, that car of Norris, he's picked up aero damage. Peter Newman is complaining actually about aero problems on his car. So another victim falling so far in the early running of this race wheel.
Yeah, Job is right behind Matthew Daniels as they head themselves down. This is into Tower Corner once again. No, this is on the exit of turn number 10. Now they come down into Collier. Turn number 11, that left-hand flick that you immediately got to settle that car down, turn it to the right in towards turn number 12. Job now down into P number 2, although you got yourself Keith Sharp, Rob Kane right behind.
Alan Patterson, your series coordinator, is dead. Incident for him with a few other cars. Big front-end impact coming through turn 1. Goes to the outside there, the 36 car. Oh, it wasn't the 36. It was actually the turned around car, I believe. That's one of the Peter Newman cars.
Yeah, here is a look
Alan Piercy. No, it's not. Sorry.
This is look then on board with Alan Patterson on the exit of the final corner, working himself down in towards turn number 1. We've got it up on your replay screen now, and yet Newman is involved in that one as well. Replay of that one coming up as you see the cars coming down in towards turn number 1. As you can see Patterson looking down to the inside of someone here, and then all of a sudden it's going to go horribly
well,
wrong.
We have the fight back going
Alan
for
Patterson, the car getting ahead of him, and T-bone. Goes Alan Patterson
wide.
up and around. His day is done. As a little bit further ahead through your field, it's Sebastian Joe now down into 3rd place, but he's running himself side by side on the exit of the final corner. They are 2 wide, 3 deep as they come down in towards turn number 1. Once again, and look at this one. Job on the inside line, everyone else on that outside line as they come down in towards that 1st corner, and Job will be able to hold on to that 2nd place just for the time being, but it is getting very frisky out front.
It is indeed, of course. Job pushing hugely wide, killing several cones going through Sunset Wheel. He was really struggling. He'd left that way too late, and well, those Peter Newman cars there are really getting aggressive, of course. Sharp and Kane up in our top 5 right now. Those two cars, very obvious red machines. One ahead of, well, sandwiching Mercer right now. They are looking racy today. Of course, Daniel's the racer leader as well. Part of that super team that's forming.
As we've got ourselves Fahim Atinidez side by side again with Grunhill on the exit of turn number 5. Through Big Ben they go. Atinidez this time will bring the outside. Grunhill has the inside line and he is able to get that position away as they work themselves down in towards the hairpin. Right behind you got yourself James Steele. No, actually take that back. It's Brendan O'Brien right behind them as they come down in towards turn number 7. But here is a look then at your biggest movers and shakers in this race so far. Daniel's up 1 position. Job is down 1 position. Then you got yourself Williams up 2 spots. Brendan up 2 spots. Grunhill is up 3 spots, running in that 10th spot right now, being able to benefit in the early going of this event. But what a scrap we've got going on out front. But we've got ourselves some great action down in your mid-pack as well. Paul Thruxton running himself side by side with Raymond Morris. This is down in your field. Battle for P number 20 and 21. As you can see, Thruxton is going to have himself the driver of Raymond Morris alongside him down into the corner. And that number 38 machine on Morris is not going to be able to get himself past on the exit of turn number 10. Back out front, Joe. This is the draft fest that you come into now on the exit of Monte Carlo down into Le Mans. And here is Sebastian Job on the exit now of number 16, Le Mans corner, onto the Almond straightaway. Let's get a look then at the speed chart for these two drivers. Is Job going to go offensive or will he stay behind this time? It looks as though he is going to think about just staying in line for the time being. He's got himself a bit of a cushion to keep Sharp behind, and Job does not want to go back to that race lead this early, Rach.
No, and here comes Keith Sharp. He wants to spoil the party. Sharp on the outside. Can he hold it tight where Job failed last time round? He's keeping it out there, but he's going to give that position to Job as he drops away very hard, keep the outside line well through Sunset Bend. Job behind your race leader now, Daniels. He's got a big draft. Will he pull up and go to the outside? Will he sit behind him?
As Keith Sharp loses that 2nd position there to Mark Mercer, pushing wide on the exit of that final corner means that he's now down into the 4th position on the racetrack. Move Mercer now up into P number 3 in tonight's event. Mercer's having himself a great little run right now. He's half a second behind the race leader and he is really pushing, moving up 3 spots since the start of today's event. Do not count him out at all. Behind, Grunhill battling it out with Stuart Adcock. This is the battle for P number 9, P10, and Grunhill is going to stay behind Stuart Adcock just for the time being. Although they are 3 wide down in towards the hairpin. Oh, 3 car contact, 5 car, 34 car, 8 car. Atinidez is the one who gets himself the most damage there in that number 8 car being pushed wide, 3 wide down in towards turn number 3. Rachel, never, ever, ever works.
Well, no. 3 wide on the start straight, 3 wide into 1 works, but, well, that poor number 34 car there, that car of Brendan O'Brien, becoming a Skip Barber sandwich between himself there and the 5. That is James Steele and Fahim Antonidez. Unfortunate contact for those guys. Yeah, Antonidez definitely having the worst deal, getting that car out, but it might have saved him because he bounced off. Definitely worried about the suspension there on O'Brien's machine, but why do they keep insisting on doing it? It's just 3 wide into that corner. I've never seen it work in any racing series well.
As we've now got ourselves technically 6 drivers in this lead battle. Just about 1 second back from the lead pack is Dominic Brennan in P number 7. Williams is now in that lead pack with 6 cars separated by just 1.5 seconds as we are working ourselves now on lap number 4, actually lap number 5 of this event. 4 laps are scored complete. Right on board this time with Mark Mercer down into the chicane, turn number 15 and 16 once again. And Mercer having himself a great little run, Rachel, but now he's going to have to go from being the attacker to thinking about what will Keith Sharp do this time by. Will he try and get that position back on the run down into Sunset?
Well, Keith Sharp's with his teammate right now, so those two can work together and push that draft into a lane of their choice, but too far back from Mercer to really do anything. Mercer's going to look to the outside there of Job. Can Mercer have a better chance of holding this to the outside?
He's going to go all the way.
He will, yes. If he can hold it here, he won't hold it. He falls back alongside Job. Can he do what the others have failed? I can keep that car doing a decent speed and not lose a position on the outside. He will do, but he doesn't have to run it once. Might have a bit of a drag here. We'll have to see what he does.
Yeah, this is now going to be Mercer remaining in 3rd place. Rob Kane, Keith Sharp battling it out for P number 4, P5 just right behind them as they come down in towards turn number 1 again. And there we are, a look at your top 5 drivers all in one shot there through turn number 1. Joe is still putting that pressure onto Matthew Daniels on the exit of turn number 1, down into 2. Will he try and make a move? No, he will just fall back into line once again. As behind, you got yourself Brendan O'Brien. They're going to go 2 wide, 3 wide once again, down in towards turn number 1. 3 wide into first corner will work, but you got to get yourself nice and settled down now as we ride on board with James Deal. Exit of the corner. He was involved in the incident just 1 lap ago. At this point, they're 2 wide this time by into the corner, and James Deal will have himself a little bit of company. That's the number 13 machine of Mark Turner and Robert Plumley right behind him. 5 cars separated by half a second as Mark O'Connell has had himself in. He's actually just coming out of pit road. I take that one back. But your mid-pack, Rachel, still 5 cars separated by just 1 second.
Yeah, they are, and of course the same pack that was involved in the incident last time around. You think they'd try and learn as we go. Let's go 3 wide into turn, the old hairpin turn 6. Why not? That seems like a great idea. Of course, like many circuits, Circuit Americas, of course, Zuka, you can get 3 into 1, but 3 doesn't go into 2, unfortunately. And these guys seem to be, well, so occupied with the fight, they are forgetting just that fact.
Wayne Sanderson, is he going to go 2 wide? They almost go 3 wide once again. That is the number 147 car, Robert Plumley, alongside as they come down now into turn number 10. Great scrap going on down in your mid-pack. We'll stick it with this one for a moment. Out front, it is all status quo for the time being. Joe, once again, catching up to the rear of the driver of Matthew Daniels. Still not considering making a pass at this stage of the race. It's going to be a heavy defensive battle towards the end. It's the number 5 car going to push wide there. Sorry, that takes the ultra inside line. That is James Steele. We have a look on board of him, and that is still Robert Plumley behind him. We cycle that camera forward. They have lost himself a little bit of ground that time by to Brendan O'Brien, who runs himself in the 13th position just ahead. Dominic Brennan, Rachel, has now caught up to the rear of this 6-car pack in that scrap for the race lead.
Yes, he has, and that's going to be really important there for Dominic Brennan himself and Williams. Williams has been hanging around behind these guys for all race, but not sure. Job, they're falling back ahead of them. He's going to drop back to 3rd if Mercer has anything to say about it. Mercer will hold that side by side as we come out of Sunset Bend. Well, onto the start-finish straight. Who will have the drag run up the straight? It's going to be Job having the corner, but they're getting risky now, aren't they?
They are, as Rob Kane side by side as well. This is David Williams on the outside, Rob Kane on the inside, down in towards turn number 1. And you can see still Mercer is trying to hold the outside line on the exit of turn number 1. They work themselves down into 2 now, and they are staying side by side. They are 2 wide behind them as well. And now Job is able to get back into position, but Williams still going to scrap it out of that 708 car. Oh, the 2 made contact there. The 708 car is going to get turned around there, narrowly avoiding his teammate. But Rob Kane, well, it's just a matter of time, Rachel, before something big happened in your front pack. It finally happened.
It was indeed, and I think that was, well, tough one to call, but Rob Kane does kind of hoon it into the corner a little bit there, and he just uses that Owanda Fraser machine as a bit of a break, maybe, because he isn't going to stop on his own. Unfortunate end to his race, but that's probably hurt David Williams considerably.
Yeah, and the issue for Williams is he's now 1 second behind Keith Sharp as that 708 car narrowly avoiding Dominic Brennan there. Brennan was just about able to squeeze through on the exit of that corner. But David Williams is now 1 second behind this lead pack, and we talk about how drafting's everything. He will still be able to catch back up to this down these long straightaways, especially as drivers are holding that status quo out front. We're going to have ourselves 3 laps to go this time by. And to run through your top 10, it's Matthew Daniels leading from Sebastian Job, then Mark Mercer in 3rd, Keith Sharp in 4th, David Williams in 5th, Dominic Brennan in 6th, Rafael Drasquez, then David Grunhill, Stuart Adcock, Clark Williams and Rob Kane round out your top 10. All the way down your field, you got yourself Fahim Matanidez, who's working himself past Dean Prime there in the pot noodle car as Dean Prime. I think he deserves a couple of seconds of airtime just for using that pot noodle skin, Rachel.
I think he does indeed. Pot noodle racing cars, definitely a great idea. Definitely one of the sponsors you don't see very often, but you know what? I like it. That's a good one. This race has been interesting from the front to the back right now, Will, of course. Steele and Turner and Norris all still fighting away back there in that little mid-pack scrap we have around 15th position. Those cars have not left each other alone all race long. They're, well, pushing a little harder than your leaders.
Yeah, as we just saw, James still working himself past Mark Turner there as they work themselves onto the Oldman Treadway. Brendan O'Brien running himself in P number 14 down. Will he look to the inside? No, he'll be nowhere near close enough as they come down in towards Sunset Bend. Your race leaders, however, there you can see them down in towards turn number 1 they come. It is now Mercer ahead of Daniels, Rachel, and Mercer now is in that catbird seat with 2 laps and about 15 corners to go.
He is indeed. Of course, he made that pass down the Ullman straightaway, Will. Coming down towards Sunset Bend, he had the inside line. Nothing Job could do about it. And that's a welcome sight to Matthew Daniels, I think. He, of course, has been running up front this season. P2 last time round. I think he might have something here today. Mercer's not been as quick as him so far. And on single run speed, it's definitely Daniels' race to lose right now. But Job, we know we can never count him out. He's always up there when it matters. But, well, we're in the dying laps. Can Mercer be a problem to Job? And could Daniels get away?
James Steele has had himself an incident. There you can see him on pit road, so that battle going on in mid-pack, that one is temporarily going to be over. Let's get a replay.
Oh, look, a 3-wide sandwich.
Yeah, let's get ourselves a replay then with James Steele. This is one down in towards turn number 1, 2. And so James Steele, he was having himself a great little scrap with Robert Plumley there in the 147 car. Also, that number 34 machine, you can just see left-hand side of your screen. Down in towards turn number 1 they come. 3 wide, well, Sebring, well, it can work sometimes. It doesn't work when the 34 car cuts across the side of that number 5 machine. James Steele, because of that one, is on pit road. So
it's funny you say that, Will,
for him.
But 2 of the cars involved in that 3-wide crash were 2 of the 3 cars involved in the previous 3-wide crash. So you'd think a little bit of learning would occur.
No, they do that on after the race with their engineers.
That's a good point.
Whilst eating their pot noodle, which is more fun than...
Forum engineers.
Yeah. It's more fun than fluffing a poodle, was the actual commercial for 2008.
Let's not talk about that.
Yes.
You
can find it on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube.
I don't want to know what you fluff.
Oh, Mercer very wide on the exit of turn number 16. That's going to allow Joe the opportunity to look down to the inside. They're all running way below that white line right now. But Job will wait for a moment. The reason why, now he'll come to the outside. He's looking for company. They're going to go 3 wide down in towards Sunset. That was reaction there for Mercer. He knew that he had to move himself. And he's going to go all the way to the outside, sliding that car around. This will allow Job to potentially get the better run on the exit of the corner. 2 laps to go. This race, it's really on now.
Oh my god, yes, it is on. Of course, Mercer trying to have the outside line, protecting the inside into 1, Will. Much more important than having that inside line coming out of Sunset. So Mercer to the inside there. Daniels letting him go almost. Daniels going to fall back in line. Daniels knows he wants to be in P2 coming down the Ulmer straightaway for this final lap.
Sitting duck time. We know it's such a long straightaway down towards turn number 17. We know that if you hold the inside line, you can make it difficult, but you can pass on the outside line. We almost saw that yesterday in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. David Grunhill, Stuart Adcock, scratching ping 4 position. This is P number 9, P number 8, P number 9, Rachel. These 2 drivers, well, they've still got a lot to finish it off between the 2 of them.
Yeah, they do indeed, and Adcock's had a good run so far today, really good run. And right now, Dave Grinnell, he's been pretty on it too. Himself and Clark Williams, that 3-car pack, have been pretty sedate, but not really close enough to make much happen right now. I can't take my eyes off the front here, as we nearly have contact between Job and Daniels.
Yeah, this is down in towards the exit of the hairpin, and then they can see your top 20 left-hand side of your screen. So Job has now got himself immense pressure from Keith Sharp right behind him. We're going on board with Keith Sharp, and this is the issue for Job. He can't afford to sit in line and have people overtake him, Rachel. He's still got to push. I know exactly what he's doing. He wants to take 1 this lap, 1 the next lap, put himself into position. But if he just doesn't get it done now, he could have Keith Sharp getting past him and spoiling the party.
Good, and Keith Sharp certainly wants to spoil that party and have himself a podium today. It'd be great news for Keith Sharp, but right now Daniels, he's trying not to lose Mercer. Mercer wants to get away from these guys and break that draft zone for the run out of Monte Carlo, but I don't know, Daniels is coming back towards him, so's Job, and I don't think Sharp's really got anything for these 3.
Dominic Brennan has fallen back from the rear of this 4-car battle. It's 1.5 seconds. He's got pressure now from David Williams as they work themselves through Monte Carlo down in towards Le Mans one more time. Mercer is leading the way then with 1 lap and 1 corner to go, but it's that 1 corner which is going to be oh so important. Mark Mercer, gap between himself and Matthew Daniels is just about nothing. It's 1/10 of a second. Sebastian Job going to look down to the outside then as they work themselves down in towards Sunset Bend and look from up above. Who will have it? They are 3 wide technically. Sebastian Job all the way to the outside, kicking up some cones. Mercer down to the inside, touching Daniels. down into the final corner, but Daniels
What a
will
pass.
hold on. One more lap to go. They are too wide, Rachel. Too deep as they take the white flag.
What a pass, Will. Daniels taking it 2-3 wide through that final corner. Mercer's reporting damage as well. Mercer has damage on the car from that contact there with Daniels. Daniels seems to have gone away with it somehow. Maybe it was a side pod impact for him, but Mercer's not happy right now. He's losing places. Job, he's gone on the attack mode right now. Daniels, though, pass of the race, Will?
Yeah, as the Rafael Draskas is still there. He just pushed backwards though. He went himself wide in towards turn 1. Half a lap to go. It's Daniels leading from Sebastian Job. It is once again a 7-horse race because of the fact that we have that 3-wide situation in Sunset Bend. Sebastian Job, this is exactly where he wants to be. Matthew Daniels, he thinks he knows where he wants to be, but he's going to have half a lap to figure it out. That number 41 car leads. It's Sebastian Job in second. Down to the outside, just sneaks Job there. He's doing that one just to upset the peripheral vision there of Matthew Daniels. Behind, you got yourself Keith Sharp in the 4th position, Dominic Brennan in 5th, and then David Williams, Rafael Draskas as in the mix there as well. Stuart Adcock, David Grunhill are still trying to battle it out. Alan Piercy looks as though he is out of the race. Now Job is getting ultra aggressive. They work themselves down in towards turn number 10 for the final time in this one. Let's have a look at the speed chart then for Job. You can see he's hard on into turn number 11. Corner corner. Now flicking it to the right, into 12, into 13. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the Club UK Island Skip Barber Racing School Series, this is the only part you need to watch. Set your photo finish cameras, get yourself that Super Slow-Mo replay, and enjoy the next 1 minute of this race, because your top 7 drivers are separated by just 1.7 seconds. They're flat out into Bishop's Corner, down in towards turn number 15 for the final time into this event. There are now just 3 corners to go, and anything can happen. This race will start the second these drivers head themselves out of the Mans. It is Daniels. Does he get a good exit? Yes, he does, as does Job. Now they're all going to play defensive. 2 cars going off there, 3 cars going off there. Rear end of your pack, but we'll go back and have a look at replay of that one afterwards. Let's have a look at Sebastian Job. He's looking down to the outside, down into the final corner. He will go, and he's going to try and work the outside line. He's not been successful so far, but will he be able to do it in this, the final lap of this race? He has got himself a little bit of a push there,
Contact
down to the
behind.
final corner. We'll look at that contact afterwards. Battle for the race lead. Who will get it? Matthew Daniels, Sebastian Job, side by side, photo finish. Here they come. Matthew Daniels will just about claim the win at the line, but only just.
That was, well, we said photo finish, Will, but Matthew Daniels claims his first win here today in the Club UK I Skip Barber Racing School Series. And he has deserved it after this race.
Yeah, there you can see a couple of other drivers just finishing their race. Now, let's get ourselves a replay then of the last minute or so of this event. It was all crazy. So let's have a look. This is Matthew Daniels to start with, heading himself, bringing these load of drivers down towards Bishop Corner, turn number 14. This is where the action all started. You had yourself the likes of Draskas all kind of falling off the racetrack there in the final corner. Dominic Brennan as well. He was the first of these drivers, I think, to push a little bit wide down into Le Mans corner. We get a look from our aerial coverage brought to you by And1 Designer. And there you can see David Williams pushing himself a little wide, but you also have yourselves in number 39 car and also Brennan. They all went wide there down on the exit of Le Mans. Williams was able to get himself past one driver because of it. That was Dominic Brennan. Draskas was able to get himself past Brennan as well. We have ourselves another look then from Dominic Brennan as he works himself on the exit of Le Mans. And, well, this is what happens when you're pushing for position. You sometimes just push a little bit wide. 2 cars going off. Brennan wasn't able to keep it in the gas as much. He then has David Williams just breezing past him into the final corner. But let's go and have a look at Matthew Daniels as he works himself down towards the start-finish line here. Let's ride along board with you and show him how close it was, because he has Sebastian Job at one point was clearly ahead, but he pushes wide down into Sunset Bend. It just wasn't working the outside line, and then down towards the start-finish line. It was mighty close there, but Matthew Daniels is able to hold on. It will slow it all the way down. It will show it for you here. It was incredibly close at the line. Matthew Daniels is now a winner in a Club UK Island Skip Barber Racing School Series, but Rachel, by about 8 inches.
Yeah, we saw a finish exactly like that this time last visit to Sebring. Well, it was another photo finish, and my God, did we have a photo finish here. Job was going to make it, then he fell backwards, and he had a run through the later part of the corner, and it was just incredible. We couldn't have expected less, with so many cars that close together for the finish. well, paint was swapped, and the finish was something that requires our camera. And oh my God, what a race!
Yeah, there we are. There's a look then from our aerial coverage down to the start-finish line. Daniels just about able to hold off Sebastian Job in the final moment of this event. Let's run you through your final race results. 17 one-thousandths of a second was the difference between Matthew Daniels as he claims his first win in the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Championship. Sebastian Job in second place by literally 8 inches on the racetrack. Matt Mercer in third, David Williams in fourth, Rafael Draskas in fifth, Dominic Brennan, Keith Sharp, Stuart Adcock, David Grunhill and Clark Williams rounding out your top 10. Further back, Rob Kane in 11th, Wayne Sanderson in 12th, Robert Plumley in the 13th position, Mark Turner 14th, Raymond Norris in 15th, Paul Thurston, Rob Marshall, Patrick Fairbanks, James Barrington and Peter Curran rounding out your top 20. And there you can see a look at drivers P number 21 through 30. We had ourselves a total of 28 drivers actually finish this race here today. A couple of them finishing a little bit further down than we would have wanted. A couple of drivers, of course, finishing completely out of the race. As there you can see, rear end of your field, 35 drivers started. Roderick Davidovich, Simon Povey, Jonas van Verke and Darren Varrier-White did not get himself into this race. They did not start tonight's event. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we now have the opportunity to have a chat with the driver who came home in first place here today, Matthew Daniels. Welcome to Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School, Victory Lane.
Thank you, Will. Yeah, it was an incredibly exciting race, incredibly intense stuff. There's a couple of really scary moments that the car was sliding. I thought I might lose it, but I managed to just about hold on. Managed to keep it pointing in the right direction and managed to bring the car home first. Sebastian was very close though. It's very much like the 2K World Cup race yesterday, only the other way round.
Indeed so, and of course
You sound excited.
we saw it in that one yesterday. But let's go back to the start of this event, because you got yourself a good start. The first couple of laps, it was all action, and we could see Sebastian Job just stalking there behind you for a while. What point did you think, wait a minute, I shouldn't be in the lead of this race, and at what points did you just want to lead to keep yourself away from the drama?
Yeah, well, I realised Sebastian was following me. He wasn't making a serious attempt to attack early on in the race. I think he was waiting until later on to make his move. But still, I had to go defensive because of the cars behind Sebastian that might try to have a go. That's how close it was up at the front.
And then, of course, the final couple of laps, it all started kicking off. 3 wide situation, down into Sunset Bend with a lap of the corner to go. Take us through the move.
Oh, it's all a blur now. I can hardly remember it. But what I know is I took the inside line. I think Sebastian went to the left. I think Mark also came up to challenge, and Sebastian backed up. But Mark ended up on my inside, and there was very slight contact, but we managed to get away with it. There was no harm done. So yeah, just glad to have got through that cleanly.
And then the final corner, final lap, you and Job side by side. Did you think that you had it as you saw Joe pushing wide down in Sunset? Because it's very difficult to hold that outside line in that final corner. And at what point did it finally sink in that you'd won the race?
It only really sank in when the spotter said, "You won! Yay!" And gave his message of congratulations. That's when it sunk in, really. I wasn't sure until then. For all I know, Sebastian might have pipped me. I don't know, but I'm ecstatic to have won. It's a fantastic feeling.
Well, congratulations. Matthew Daniel is a winner in the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Championship. And next week, Rachel, we go from one crazy American racetrack to another crazy American racetrack. It is the IR.
BIR. Surprising favourite track of Gregor Hutu. Oh, who guessed that one? But, wow. Probably the closest thing we have to the Nordschleife in iRacing at the moment, and It's twisty, it's narrow, it's got an oak tree, and it's going to be an amazing race.
It had an oak tree. Rest in peace, oak tree.
It had.
It's got two more races in this North American triple header, or the United States triple header. We've got VIR in 1 week's time, then Road America in a fortnight, and then we head ourselves to 2 races in Canada at the Canadian Tires Motorsports Park, and then Montreal, before Oran Park gives us an Australian leg of the championship, back to America for Laguna Seca, then over to Europe for Monza, round number 11, concluding the season at Interlagos for the 12th and final round of the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a RaceSpotTV presentation of the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Championship from Sebring, myself, Will Vincent, Rachel Wyford. We shall talk to you all next time. Bye-bye.